Well, hi guys and gals, it's me George, the Shade Tree Fix-It Man, and we're going to attempt to, we're going to assess this motor. As you can see, I already have wires hooked up, some, mainly to the starter. I have a wire that I can put to the ignition, but we're not at that point yet. We're going to have to make another spark plug wire. There were no plug wires on this. And essentially they're both coil wires because it's got two terminals on the coil, two cylinders, so one for each. Well, I have one coil wire. We'll have to make another one. Well, what I want to do now is I'm going to pull the spark plugs out of it, and we're going to see if it'll turn over without the spark plugs and see what it sounds like. I probably should shoot a little bit of oil down in the cylinders. Have no idea how long it's been since this motor was run. I bought it at an auction. It was sitting in the shed. It had been wrapped in a black plastic bag, and I got the motor, I got a dolly and a propane tank and a leather motorcycle jacket, all for $18. So no promises on the motor. It was sitting on the floor. It has turned over by hand. I haven't tried turning it all the way over. Let's see what these spark plugs look like. Well, you can see it's kind of carboned up, but that's a good thing. There's no oil on it. That's a good thing. I'm going to squirt some penetrating oil down in there just to give it a fighting chance before we get started. I'll give it a shot of PB Blaster down in here. The solenoid on the starter, which is down here, it was missing one of the screws, and the one screw that was in it was loose. So I have no delusions about this motor. It's a basket case at the best, but the best part is the coil is here, the carburetor is here. It even has a muffler on it. Not that that's going to matter to us much. We're going to do custom exhaust on it. Let's take a look and see what this one looks like. Yeah, look at that one. That one's about the same, I'd say. Maybe not quite as worn. NGK plug. We'll give it a squirt down in that cylinder. I think this is, not positive, but I think this one is electronic ignition. I really don't know what year the motor is. And I've got my handy dandy homemade starter button here. Let's give it a shot. Don't sound too bad. The starter don't sound great. But you can see it was blowing the oil out that we squirted down in there, so that's a good thing. Now I suppose that I could plug the one spark plug wire that I have in and ground it out here. We're outdoors, so may not be able to see it. Now let's see, I've got to hook up a hot wire to the coil, and I have a hot wire here. I got to strip the end down. I was going to put an on and off switch on it. Maybe I'll do that before we go that far. Don't want to get ahead of ourselves. Hold on to your hat. Okay, so Don't jump all over me. This is just hot wire just to try and start this, see if it's going to work. Right now we're just checking for spark. I have an on-off switch here. I think you could see that. And I will show you how it functions. I have my test light, and I'm going to put it on the hot terminal on the coil. And I'll turn my switch on. And can you see that? I can't even tell because it's so bright. There. You can see the light is on. When the light is on, the side of the switch is red and it says 0. When I push it down, it goes off, okay? So that's all set. So I can get that out of the way. I don't want too many wires. I got wires dangling all over the place here. Now, we're just going to turn our ignition switch on. And we're going to look down here, and I'm going to zoom you in on that spark plug because you're probably going to be able to see it better than I can. I should have done this indoors, I guess, but the motor's outdoors and I really don't have a place to bring it in right now. So let's see what happens. Turn my thing so I can see. I'm going to turn my switch on, and I'm going to hit my starter button, and we'll see what happens. I don't see a spark there. Okay, well, it's the next day, and last thing we were doing was checking for spark, and I thought I would take the coil off and test the coil. And to do that, you had to take the shroud off, which I have done. And upon looking further down in here, I noticed that there's some frayed wiring going on in there. Look at that. So I'm hoping that that's where the problem is. Maybe we've got a bare wire down in there or a broken wire. As I got to tell you, I really don't want to spend $175 to get a ignition module and the pickup coil that goes with it for this motor, not knowing the condition of the rest of the motor. So our very next chore is going to be to pull the flywheel off. Okay, let's try this again. Just need a little bit more oomph than what we had there. And I'm going to leave the bolt in there, not all the way in, leave it out about a ½ inch, because now we're going to put a puller on here. And we're just going to put these bolts right into the place where the drive shaft actually bolts on. This is one of those times where you wish that evolutionists were right, but obviously it proves them wrong. If evolution is the improvement of the species, then why did we lose our prehensile tail if we came from monkeys? Well, the obvious answer is we didn't come from monkeys, and if we ever had a prehensile tail, we would have kept it. There it is. Now, what we're hoping to do is when we get this off of here is to get a better look at the wiring coming up from our ignition module. This does have electronic ignition, being a little bit newer motor. I have no idea what year motor this is. Look at the length of that bolt. Back side of the flywheel don't look too bad. Needs a good cleaning, like everything else. And the reluctor parts here appear to be in good condition. But what we're interested in at the moment is these wires right here. And yeah, something has been chewing on that for sure. So I think what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to pull this off, and so we can get at that and pull the module out of there. And from looking down here at the stuff that came out, yeah, I'd say there probably was mice living in there. Well, I knew there were mice living in there because there was a mouse nest on the top. And this had been sitting in a shed, garage, covered up in plastic. So let me get one of the bolts is missing here even. So I'll get these off, we'll take this off, and then we'll get a better look at the wiring here. That wiring is not to the pickup coil. That wiring that was chewed, and the wiring itself is fine, it looks like, is to our charging system, the reluctor. And that hooks up here to our voltage regulator. Well, we're in this far, and we're here to find out what the problem is with our charging system. So we're going to take off the coil and see if we can. This is not the coil, this is the pickup, the module. I'm disappointed because I was hoping that that wiring was the problem. But with all this muck and mire in here, it's possible that the signal wasn't getting sent through clearly. I'll have to see about getting this piece here off. It's not bolted in. It looks like it's a press-in fit. So I'll have to get a little screwdriver. Well, we're still going to test our coil now that we have found that the coil is not, or the wiring to the coil is not being directly affected. So we're going to take this in and we're going to put you on the bench. And we're going to test it, see what we can find out. Still a possibility we have problems with wiring. But we'll find that out when we get back on the bench. So we got the coil off, and there is a problem with the coil. This nut right here would not turn. The whole shaft was turning, and it ended up having to break the wire to get it off. So there's no sense in messing with this. I was going to test this coil to see if it works, but after that post turning around in there a couple of times, I can guarantee you that it's messed up the connections inside here. So we're not even going to bother with that. New coil is probably around $15, $17. That's not too bad. I will invest in that, and then we'll bring you back for the next step in the process. We'll clean up our ignition module, which is this right here, and this contact area was pretty grungy and covered with grease. So we'll clean up the whole unit. You can see where the wire got broken off that was supposed to come off when that got unbolted. We'll get this all cleaned up and we'll see what we have to do to test this as well. This unit and the reluctor key, or ignition coil, ring as they call it, firing ring, those two pieces cost about 175 bucks. If we get to that point, I may end up just calling this motor parts and keep looking for another V-twin. This one only cost me probably about 10 bucks, and so I can justify putting some money into it. About 175 bucks, and it's going to be 190. By the time you pay shipping, you're going to have 200 bucks in it, and I can almost buy a V-twin motor for a little bit more than that. I would prefer the V-twin. This looked like a good possibility, opposing twin, and I'd still like to get it running if I can. So we'll see what happens. So anyway, until next time, they don't always work out the way you hope and you want. That's part of the process of investigating and diagnosing problems with your small engine. Anyway, till next time, this is George, the Shade Tree Fix-It Man, saying thanks for watching, commenting, subscribing, thumbs up, sharing, all them good things. Till next time, bye now. P.S. Another small project that I have in mind is I need to make a tire changing machine for these little lawnmower tires. I bought these tires along with a pair of larger ones at the last auction, not this one, and these are going to go on the front of the Cub Cadet. Hold on to your hats for that one. Coming up soon. Bye now.